the surprising nature of living with the land. Our journey begins as dramatic and sudden changes are sweeping over the land. The approaching storm may seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning in the cycle of life. Here, beneath the surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements, when combined with sunlight, create the diverse living systems of our planet. The rainforest is home to the most amazing concentration of life on our planet. While these dense and beautiful forests cover only a tiny portion of the Earth's surface, they contain more than half of its plants and animals. Rainforests are also extremely rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicine, and other elements essential to our lives. In the desert, nature has created a very different, but no less beautiful living system. And while this arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. The plants and animals that have learned to survive in these harsh conditions make use of what little water they can find and avoid the scorching rays of the relentless sun. The American prairie once appeared as desolate as the desert, but over time, the hard surface of this land was softened by the hooves of the mighty buffalo. This allowed rainwater and nutrients beneath the surface, creating the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm. Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use and often abuse of land. And while farming became more and more productive, we failed to realize the impact our methods were having on our planet. Today, we're learning to live with the land, discovering better ways to grow food that will assure both human and environmental well-being. Natural predators, such as ladybugs and wasps, to control pests. In Japan, we're learning that by mixing leaves and other living materials into our soil, we can make farmland more fertile without the need for chemicals. In farmlands across America, we're learning that by how will we meet tomorrow's growing needs for food production, yet still respect the needs of the land? Some of the answers are being discovered just ahead.
Hello again, folks. I'd like to welcome you to a very special and constantly changing area here at Epcot Center. As we enter our greenhouses, I'd like to remind you, please keep those hands well inside the boat. Please do not touch any of the plants due to the sterile conditions in our greenhouses. The greenhouses are a working laboratory, a living showcase of the concepts, tools, and technologies that are a small but very important part of sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture is a method of farming that seeks to maintain crop yields without harming the land. As we go through our greenhouses, I'll show you some of the techniques we're using to achieve this goal. Farms in the tropics are blessed with plenty of sunshine, rainfall, and mild temperatures year-round. Plants like coconut, cacao, and papaya thrive under these conditions. But by using what we've learned through research and experimentation, we're able to increase crop production, at the same time reducing the need for fertilizers and pesticides. One method we use is called crop rotation. That's where different crops, such as the peanuts and rice you see in the terraces to your right, are planted in the same area in successive seasons. This helps to replenish the soil and reduce pests. Now, there are over 300,000 species of plants on the earth, many of which are found in the tropical rainforest, and some of which you see here in our tropical farm. Many of these plants could yield rich new crops for the future or lead to breakthroughs in science and medicine. We need to seek ways to preserve the genetic diversity of our planet, or many of these plants may simply become extinct. Fish farming is a fast-growing food industry. The increasing demand for seafood is placing a huge burden on our oceans, lakes, and rivers. Aquaculture technology is helping meet this demand by producing tons of fish in a small area. In these tanks are several species of fish well suited to the high-density production of aquaculture. The water in these tanks is recirculated through a filtration system that removes wastes, adds oxygen, and controls the temperature to provide a good environment for our fish. With the technologies we use here at our aqua cell, we can raise fish in the harshest environments, even in the desert. But we don't only do research here. Most of the fish raised in our aqua cell are served in the restaurants here at Walt Disney World. In our temperate farm, we're demonstrating drip irrigation and intercropping, two important components of sustainable agriculture. Drip irrigation conserves water by delivering it directly to the roots of the plants. The essential nutrients normally obtained from the soil are dissolved in water and delivered through the irrigation system. Intercropping is the growing of two or more complementary crops in the same area, such as the millet and lucina you see to your right. The legumes like lucina, and there's more lucina trees to the right there, take nitrogen from the air, and by using a bacteria in their roots, convert it to a natural fertilizer. Ground cover, provided by the clover to your left and right, helps prevent soil erosion and conserve water. Now, resource management is the key aspect of sustainable agriculture. The amount of water and fertilizer our plants receive is very carefully controlled. Most systems deliver a fixed amount of water to the plants every day. However, plants' needs do vary depending on the weather. Our cucumbers here are watered using a computer control device called a lysimeter. Developed here at the land, the lysimeter delivers only as much water as needed. In research, we've been able to determine the exact amount of fertilizer our plants require as well. Now, each year, pests ruin 1/3 of all food crops worldwide. Here at our greenhouses, we use integrated pest management, the use of several pest control methods working together. For example, if we find that insect pests to become a problem, we can release insects that will feed on them, such as ladybugs, which eat aphids, our most troublesome pest. To prevent the spread of disease in our greenhouses, we plant disease-resistant crops like our cherry tomatoes. Integrated pest management does not mean we don't use pesticides, but having other alternatives available helps to reduce their use. Many of the techniques you've seen today are currently being used on farms around the world. Others will become more common in the future. As we move into the future, we'll still rely on traditional farms, but we'll also use new innovative methods of agriculture as well. Right now you can see and taste the products of our efforts at the Garden Grill Restaurant or the Sunshine Season Food Fair. These restaurants do serve the herbs and vegetables and some of the fish that we produce here at the land. Looking further into the future, we're helping to pioneer space agriculture by studying crop production in simulated Martian and lunar soils. Up ahead, we're experimenting with growing systems identical to ones at the Kennedy Space Center. Space explorers will depend on plants, not just for food, but also to help recycle the oxygen and water they'll need to survive. With the concepts and tools we're working on here at the land, we're helping to build upon the success of our historical farming traditions and working to carefully preserve our most precious resource, the land.
On our voyage of discovery, we've seen the richness and diversity of the land and previewed some of the most exciting and experimental techniques in farming. But this is just the beginning. The challenge today is for people around the world to take the lessons we've learned from both nature and science and develop a new respect for the land. More than that, each of us needs to take with us an awareness that our land is a living system and we're all a part of it. An awareness that everything we do impacts not only the land, but our lives and our future. And an awareness that we can strike a balance between our needs and the needs of our planet. With increased awareness, we can preserve the land as a precious and beautiful resource for our generation and for generations to come. Only then will we truly be living with the land.
Folks, for your safety, please keep those hands and feet well inside the boat and remain seated until we come to our final stop beyond these brown railings on the dock up ahead.